Hi everyone, I'm Laura Max. Thank you for joining us again for the Light Files vlog. We're here with episode 3 on how to stop obsessing. Our friend Heather Alexander, also known as Brooklyn Reiki on YouTube, wrote in that she can't stop obsessing. How does she stop obsessing? And she's obsessed with no longer obsessing. And I thought, oh my God, boy, have I been there. There was certainly a time in my life where I spent probably 90% of my day obsessing, and there are a few things that I have done that have quelled that obsession, though it certainly comes back to visit every once in a while. And I was actually laying in my bed this weekend, and I decided to sleep in, which I rarely do, because if I sleep in on Saturday or Sunday, then come Monday I just don't want to get out of my bed. And while it is so delicious to stay under the covers for that extra hour or two, it also had me all up in my head about things that are not really actually happening. So I did what my first suggestion is, which is one of my favorite lines I actually have heard many other people say, which is move a muscle, change a thought. I've heard that many times throughout my life, and I have found that when I have gone at a different pace or engaged myself in a different kind of activity physically, I end up no longer thinking about what it was that I was thinking about. It's actually that simple. So this weekend I decided to hop right out of my bed and walked right out of my front door and went on a walk. And by the time I came back, I had no idea what it was that I had been thinking about that apparently was going to bring the whole world down in one day before I'd started thinking about it. So that's my suggestion number 1. Suggestion number 2 is what I brought up last time actually, which is calling a friend of mine, getting it out. Oftentimes I'll get a laugh on the other end of the line, or somebody will just put it into perspective for me in a way that I probably couldn't have done so myself. So that's been a lifeline for me in more ways than one. And this may sound a little hokey to some of you, but if you don't feel like you have someone you can do that with, ask the universe for one. I did that recently. I was at my best friend's wedding, and my best friend is there for me come rain or shine, but being that she was getting married, it wasn't exactly the best time for me to talk to her about my tiny issues that were spiraling in my head. So I looked up and I said, universe, I know that I'm here and I know that I'm my best friend's maid of honor, and this is not the time to tell her what's going on for me, so I'm really gonna need your help because my brain's about to explode. And I actually met someone who I've been on the phone with every day since. She's become one of my very good friends for the last 2 weeks. Hi Jen, how are you? Anyway, so it really works, and if it's not for you, then you can just pass on it, but that's my suggestion. And my third suggestion, which actually might not work for everyone, is write it down. For the last 3.5 years, I've engaged in a practice by the author Julia Cameron, who wrote The Artist's Way. The practice is called the morning pages, and I actually wake up every morning and I write 3 pages, sometimes front and back, of whatever's going on in my head that day. I do it before I eat breakfast. It's the first thing that comes out of me when I start the day, and I really find that it helps me filter out all of the crazy static that's going on in my head, so when I go out and take on the day, I'm not bringing all that stuff with me. And for me, this is really a meditation. I know that a lot of people find it very helpful to actually meditate, but I definitely bring the morning pages under the umbrella of meditation. But I also know there have been times for me where I have written something down and I have just gone further and further and further down that path. So it's really up to you whether or not it's the right time to write, or the right time to call someone, or maybe the right time to go on a run. But either way, I hope you got something out of this. And I hope you won't be obsessing about obsessing for too much longer. Thank you again for joining us, and remember to head to www.thelightfiles.com and leave your comments on what you want to hear about next week. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you all next week from my living room to yours. Bye guys.